So what I want to do, Tristan, is introduce this concept to you of the buyer concierge service specialist. And to begin with, uh, most buyers that focus on three things when they're buying a home. And I'd like to just touch on those and see if you are in agreement with them yourself. First thing is they want to buy the best house. And when we talk in terms of the best house, what I mean is that has the best price and it's got the lowest cost of sale attached to it. And of course, they get the features they want and the condition that is their standard and the location where they want it. So they focus on getting the best house that they can possibly get. Now, the second thing that they focus on is they want to save as much time going through this transaction. They don't want to feel rushed, but they want it to be smooth and efficient. That's a concern for them. So, as a buyer concierge service specialist, I will help you find your best house. That's what I'll do for you if you decide to work with me. I decide to work with you. And I'll arrange for you to purchase that home when we find it directly from the listing agent. And that's because the listing agent is actually the best agent for you to buy from. I'll talk about that in just a moment, but I just want to put that up front for you. And the whole concept of working with one agent, we call it a solo agent because there's only one agent involved in the transaction. Working with just one agent, that solo agent, takes a lot less time, and that helps the buyer to accomplish that second point of focus that they have. And then finally, they want to minimize their stress. It can be very stressful, particularly if you don't have the best agent involved. And so everybody needs to do what needs to be done to minimize the stress. Working with a solo agent is far less stressful simply because there's only one of them. Less stressful if you don't have to deal with two agents. It makes it a smoother transaction for negotiating issues. It's an easier transaction because of time and effort, just one person to deal with, and it's less risky. Transactions do fall through, and that's unfortunate because the seller, they didn't get to sell and get their money. The buyer, they didn't get to buy and get their dream home that they want to live in. I want to point out that representation with a solo agent is of absolutely no concern to you, and that's because you will have a written guarantee of fair and equal representation from that solo agent who will end up being the listing agent. Let me explain briefly what I mean by written guarantee. You're going to get in writing that the solo agent is going to be fair and honest with you. It means they're not going to lie to you. They can't lie to you. The law won't allow to lie, and they're signing a piece of paper that says, I won't lie. So you have some leverage there. Should give you less stress. They're going to protect your money. It says right in it. They won't steal your money. There's a limited amount of exposure that an agent has to the money anyway, but whatever it is, you've got the guarantee that they're not going to steal your money. And you've got recourse if something should happen, whatever we could imagine that to be. Third thing is that guarantee is going to say that they're going to operate skillfully and they're going to do it with care and diligence to close this transaction. And that leads me to the fourth thing. Agent's loyalty is to the transaction. It's not to the buyer, it's not to the seller. That solo agent represents the buyer, they represent the seller, but they're working for the closing. They're loyal to get that closing done. And then finally, it says in writing that they will not favor one party over the other. So you don't have to be concerned that the seller's got an advantage over you in any way. And it looks like this. There's a different form which the listing agent will sign with you. But here's what it looks like. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So in summary here, the three things that you want to buy the best house in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress. So let me ask you, how about you? Is that what you're focused on, or did I miss it?
No, absolutely. That's where my focus is.
All right. Well, let me give you three things here that I believe every buyer should know going through the process of buying a home. First of all, buying a home is a two-step process, which is pretty simple. Step one is finding that house. And then once you've found that house, it's a preset sequence of events that you have to go through to acquire it. It's in the contract. You sign a contract and it's laid out clearly in the contract what you have to do to acquire it. So step one is finding it. Step two is acquiring it. Now, I'll tell you this, the second thing that buyers should know is that the most difficult part is finding the house. Some folks get a little confused, but buyers tell the National Association of Realtors in surveys that they do that the hardest part, majority of them say the hardest part is finding that house. I, as a BCS specialist, specialize in just that step. I'm not involved in the acquiring portion. That's going to be the listing agent. But I do this and I'm better at it than other agents. The traditional buyer agents will refer to them as could possibly be. That's what the buyer concierge service specialist focuses on. Here's an interesting point. The third thing that you should know, while I help you with the most difficult part of buying a home, and that is finding it, I don't charge you for that service. And you'll save thousands of dollars because of that.
Well, hold on. How do you get paid?
Oh, that's simple. I will have an arrangement with the listing agent of the home that you're going to purchase that they will pay me out of their commission, their funds. It's not going to come from the seller. It's not going to come from the buyer. It's going to come direct from them to me for me bringing them you as a willing, able, and ready buyer. You have value to a listing agent. They actually pay money to buy prospect leads. Those aren't qualified, willing, able, ready buyers, but they're possible. But they spend money to do that. Here, they're willing to spend money for me to bring them someone that's already proven to be willing, able, and ready. They're glad to have it. So that's how I'm compensated. That makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Um, Here's three buyer recommendations that I want to make to you also. Number one, never pay a buyer agent fee. It's out there. It is going away. We had some changes in the industry and it's going away. Uh, but there are still agents that will try to get you to pay that buyer agent fee. The reason I say it is they just aren't worth it.
Why not?
Well, two reasons. First reason is you don't need them, and I'll show you something here in just a second to prove why you don't need them. But secondly, the ones that buyers that are confused and go ahead and keep that traditional agent, they pay far more than they're actually worth. Let me share this with you. Most buyer agents are going to charge 2 to 3% of the sales price on average. That's a lot of money. Let me give you an example here. This is $450,000 sales price property. If that buyer agent charges 2 to 3%, the poor buyer they could save it, but they're not. If they did save it, they'd save $9,000 to $13,500 based upon whether that buyer agent fee is 2% or 3%.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. Would you agree?
Yeah,
So, simple question. You think it'd be easier to buy if it cost you 9,000 to 13,500 less?
absolutely.
I agree with you 100%. I told you I'd show you why the first reason why buyers agents aren't worth it. And this is interesting. This is what buyers really need in the buying process. First of all, they got to be qualified for willing, able, and ready. And the solo agent, which is the listing agent, they could do that, but I will do that for you as the buyer concierge services specialist. So once they do that, now they've got to find it. And that means they're shopping, looking online, they're getting MLS listings that pop up, they're touring, and then they're going to select one. That's what I do. And remember, I don't charge for my services. And then they need some help writing the offer. That's step two, where they enter starting to acquire the home. Solo agents can do that. They're adept at that. You don't need the traditional buyer agent to do that. Then negotiating on price, on terms, if there's disputes along the way with, I don't know, inspection issues or whatever. Uh, the solo agent, it's easier when the buyer and the seller are both negotiating through that first agent. They're going to do it. Then facilitating the details of the transaction, the terms to get to closing, the solo agent, they're going to do that for the seller in any transaction anyway. So that's just doing the same thing for you that they're doing for the seller. And then the closing itself, the support of going to that closing and making sure that all the details are set in advance and that goes smoothly. I don't see traditional buyer agent on there anywhere. How about you?
Yeah, no, nothing.
That's why I say you don't need them. Let me give you the second recommendation. Always buy direct from the listing agent. They are the best agent for you to buy from.
Why are
Now,
they the best? Why are they the best?
well, it's pretty simple. They know more about the property, the neighborhood, and the seller than any other agent. They know more about it than the buyer agent. No matter what a buyer agent might say, this listing agent is more knowledgeable about that property that you, the buyer, want to buy. And you're going to save time, money, and stress working directly with them. So therefore, you're going to have that smoothest, easiest, and least risky transaction. Any questions on those things?
No,
I think they're good
makes sense.
recommendations.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The last one that I have for you is always use a BCS specialist to find your home because that's what we specialize in. We're not spreading ourselves thin over trying to be a jack of all trades and master of none. We are a master of finding that home for you. And because we specialize, you'd think that it's going to cost you. But as I've told you, we don't. We're going to be paid through a referral fee from that listing agent. You have the convenience of buying directly from the best agent. You save thousands of dollars. And you're going to be the best prepared buyer on the market because I have some things that I will do with you as your BCS specialist that make you better prepared than any buyer that's out there. Let me just share real quickly. We've got a buyer prep kit here, and I'll give you 5 general buying tips going into this process. I'll give you 12 tips for putting that offer together with that listing agent, and that's going to help you get that best home at the best price with the least amount of cost. I want to give you 6, I call them buyer remorse cautions. And sometimes people jump in and they rush things, and after the fact, they're, geez, I wish we hadn't done this, or we shouldn't have done that, or why didn't we do the other thing? I'm going to give you some tips on that so you can avoid it and you'll feel good. Those are de-stressors. I'll give you a copy of the transaction broker relationship notice. I showed you that slide a moment ago. And I'm going to give you a copy of the as-is contract, which is most likely what you're going to be signing when you go through the purchase process so that you can get familiar with it. Write down any questions, give me a call, I'll give you some help, but I'm also going to give you a contract translation. And this is taking that contract and putting into simple layman's everyday language, makes it really easy for you to understand. And then you're going to have my support for questions right up until you go under contract with that listing agent and the seller to purchase that home. So any questions on what we're going to prepare you for and with how we're going to do it to make you the best prepared buyer out there?
No, I think you covered it. Yeah.
Yeah, and these are things, honestly, other agents just do not do. But because I specialize in this portion of it, this is important and we focus on it. So um, the process itself is real simple. Here's how it works. I'm going to ask you a half dozen willing, able, and ready questions because the market is looking for willing, able, and ready buyers only. That's what sellers want. You're ready to buy, you're ready to buy now. We'll sign a buyer agent agreement, and the good news about this is it's going to be based on your time frame. Other agents will try to get you to sign it for 6 months or ridiculous periods of time. This buyer agent agreement says that you're not going to pay me any buyer agent fee. That's important because, like I said, other agents, they'll have 2 to 3% written in there.
Yeah.
Going forward, then we're going to set up a home profile. This is what your best house looks like. And this is based upon the software in the multiple listing service. We'll match that up. It'll have your needs, your wants, and your deal breakers in there. And then we're going to confirm your financial status. Now, you said that you were going to be getting a mortgage for this, right?
Correct.
Okay, we'll make sure that you've got a letter of approval, at the very minimum, a pre-approval from the lender because the market wants to see that when you're going in because that's proof of being willing, able, and ready. Once we've done that, I'm going to set you up on the MLS listing alert system so that immediately when a new listing comes on that fits your home profile, it's going to go to you and it'll come to me. If you want to see it, then you're going to give me a call and I'm going to review it with you. We'll make sure that it's one that you should see, that it fits your needs once, and there's no deal breakers in there. And then I'm going to arrange the showing with the listing agent. I'll do some screening on that listing agent as well. And then you're going to tour the home with the listing agent. And if you like it, you're going to buy it. If not, then you come back to me and we continue working together to find you that right home. Sounds pretty simple because it really is simple. Any questions on the process itself?
No, everything sounds good.
Well, do you want to go ahead and move forward with it?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's get started and we'll do those willing, able, ready questions. Okay?
Okay.
Fair enough.